It's 3 o'clock my time. I guess it's like, what is it, 8 o'clock there? Is that what time it is? Okay. We are going to go ahead and get started. I am recording, and obviously I am not Melanie Mitro. I am Rachel Mitchell, and Julia and I are really excited to do this call for you guys today. This is, I guess, your first official Coach University call. I know you had your coach kickoff call last week, but this is kind of like, we are going to get into the nuts and the bolts of what you're doing as a coach, and we're really going to try to help you guys get started well. And I'm muting you. I'm going to mute you guys as you come on. But if you need to ask questions or anything, you can unmute yourself. And there's also a chat bar down at the bottom. It's got that little bubble that says chat. You can ask us questions while we're talking, and then we can answer your questions towards the end, and we will open it up for questions because I know you guys have questions, okay? But first, we'll just introduce ourselves. And Julia, you can unmute yourself. But I am Rachel Mitchell. I am a 3-star diamond. I'm a premier coach from last year, and I have been a coach for a little over 3 years now. And I love what I do. It's very rewarding. You guys have started something incredible, and I know that you guys will just make such a difference there in the UK, and we're excited about that. Julia, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My name is Julia Overfield. A lot of you probably don't know me. I hadn't hopped in the group to go live at any point or anything, which I need to do. But I met a lot of you in London, so I'm excited to be here. I've been coaching about 3 years. I am a 2-star premier coach for 2017, and I am really excited to be launching to you guys and being over there. It's just such a great opportunity to be able to pay it forward and to be able to practice what you preach and feel better, but plus inspire all of those around you. I am a mom. I'm married. I stay at home. I have twins that just turned 6, identical twins. I have an 8-year-old little boy. I have a 24-year-old daughter, and I have a granddaughter that's about to be 1. So that's kind of me in a nutshell, and I will pass it back, and we'll get started.
All right, you guys. Okay, so what we really want to talk to, look at you guys coming on. This is awesome. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so we want to address and help you with a few things today. One, just help you kind of understand that if you are overwhelmed, it's okay. You're not alone. If you're not overwhelmed, then there's probably something wrong with you, honestly. Like, it is a lot of information. It is a lot of new information, a lot of calls, a lot of notifications, all that stuff. And so if you're feeling kind of overwhelmed, that is okay. It's normal. Like, we all were at some point. And so don't feel alone in that. We want to make sure that everyone has posted their coach announcement. Has everyone made that coach announcement? I know we went over that on Monday in our Coach University. Good. I see thumbs. Yes. So that is the number one thing that you want to do in the beginning. And I know you may feel like, who am I to be announcing that I'm a coach? Like, it may feel awkward and strange, but social media is your platform. Social media is where you run your business. Without social media, you don't have a business. And so we can post our workout selfies. We can post our recipes, our meal plans, our Shakeology all day long. But if you don't know that you're offering something, then your business is never going to get off the ground. And so you have to put that coach announcement out there. So that's number one. If you have not done that, do so like immediately after this call. Like, we gave you guys the wording, everything. You just need to put a picture with it and change the wording to make it your story, and then put it out there. So that's number one. So if you have done that already, I know a lot of you guys are already inviting to a challenge group, you are starting to post, you're starting to do all those things, and that is wonderful. That is exactly what you want to do. And we're going to talk to you today about posting, about your photos, and as well about inviting, because those are kind of the top 3 things that you need to be doing. Just one, going into this, guys, I want you to know and understand and expect that you will get objections. You will get people that tell you no. You will get people who say Shakeology is too expensive. But for you guys, like, this is new for the UK. Like, what you're doing is new. People don't really understand Shakeology. People don't really know what we're talking about when we say challenge groups. So it's your job. It's our job to educate them. All right. And you do that through your posts. But if you are getting a lot of objections, if you're getting a lot of pushback, that is okay. That is totally normal. And that is what we're here to do, is to teach you how to handle those objections and how to reach out to people, how to invite. But it does all start with your posts. Just a second, I'm trying to pull something up right here. But social media is your platform. So you have to be posting, you have to be using that platform in order to help people. You can do that through Instagram, you can do that through Facebook, you can do that through a blog, you can do it in so many ways, but you just got to do it. And so with your coach announcement out there, people know that you are a coach, that you're offering some type of service. And so now you start to kind of, what I like to teach coaches to do is, in your post, in your daily post, you give people a glimpse into what a challenge group would be like. So you're doing your workout selfie. You're being proof that the products work, right? One thing I want to encourage you to do with those workout selfies is, don't just say, like, I did the 21-day fix, workouts done, boom, that's it. You do want people to know what you're doing, and that you work out at home, that your workout was like 30 minutes, but tell your story through your workout posts. You're going to tell your story through all of your posts, honestly. But those workout posts, like when you get up and post that, tell people, why are you working out? What motivated you to do that workout? Why are you sticking with it? Why are you not going to give up? Is it your family? Is it that you want to be strong for your kids? Is that you have a specific fitness goal that you're working towards? Are you going on vacation? Whatever it is, like, show people what you're doing and why you're doing it. That is very, very, very important. But I really encourage coaches, new coaches, to when you're thinking about posting, we teach you guys to post like 3 to 5 times a day. You may not be on social media that much. Like, I was not as a new coach. Like, I was never on social media. I posted like once or twice a week, maybe, and it was always about my kids. But now you have a business. This is your business. Your posting is your business. And so maybe you post twice a day, and that's totally okay. Maybe you post 3 times a day, and that's totally okay. But you've got to be present. You've got to be showing up, and you've got to be showing people what you're doing. But I always encourage new coaches to really kind of come up with like 5 things that define you. 5 things that you can always go back to and post about. So for me, it's really like, I'm a mom. Like, I have 2 little boys. They're 7 and 8. My faith is a huge part of my life. We're really into outdoors. We like to go camping and kayaking and hiking and all those types of things. We cook. I cook a lot. Like, I love clean eating. One of my things is to really show people what I teach my kids to eat. And I'm a teacher. I work full time too. So I have to show people how I make time for my fitness and my business. And so, like, those are kind of 5 big things about me. You can get more specific. Maybe you, sorry, my computer's doing something funny. Maybe you like to travel. Maybe you like to, you like to sing or something like that. Like, write down, just if somebody said, hey, tell me 5 things that I need to know about you, write down what comes to your mind first. And those are kind of the things that you will focus on in this journey. And those are the things that you're going to post about. All right. Because this whole thing, your whole journey needs to be about you. People are going to connect with what they know about you. So don't compare. Julia and I were talking about this call, and we were just really wanted to encourage you guys, like, in your posting, in your coaching, in your invites, like, put your blinders on, because there are a lot of coaches that have joined our UK, our Dream Team United, and it's going to be really easy for you guys to watch the person next to you, or to see somebody hit Success Club, or to see somebody rank advance, or whatever it might be. Or you might follow other coaches and think, oh, her posts are so good. Like, why are mine not that good? I honestly had had to unfollow a lot of coaches in the beginning because I was so caught up in comparing myself to what other people were doing. And you just cannot do that. You have to put your blinders on and focus on your journey. All right. That's really important. So come up with those 5 things that really define you. And those are the things that you're going to focus on. So in your 2 to 3 to 5 posts a day, like what in the world do you start posting? You put your coach announcement out there. You've told people you're a coach. And now what do you do? That's where being proof that the products work come in. Obviously, a workout selfie is kind of a non-negotiable. Like you have to be showing people that you're doing what you're inviting them to do with you. And that's working out, eating clean, making meal plans, using your portion containers, and drinking your Shakeology. Now, am I saying you have to talk about that every single day? No, but sometime during the week, you've got to be showing people what you're doing. Again, give them a glimpse into what it would look like to be in a challenge group, to be a part of a challenge group. And in our challenge groups, we work out, we meal plan, we drink our Shakeology, and we eat clean, okay? So start to share recipes. Start to show people how you actually use your containers. Why do you use your containers? Talk about portion control. Talk about how, what diets or plans or bars or whatever it is that you've tried in the past that just didn't work and why this is a long-term sustainable solution for you. Share a recipe about your Shakeology. Do you replace your breakfast with Shakeology or your lunch or your dinner? Tell people how it fits into your life and show them that you, in fact, are using it. That is you being proof that the products work. When it comes to posting too, I think it's important to come up with a plan, especially as new coaches. So I, as a new coach, didn't really feel like I had a voice, like I had a lot to say. But when I sat down and really kind of broke down my week and I took those things that I just shared with you and made a plan about posting, it made it much more smooth and it gave me more confidence to have a plan. So maybe on Monday, you post your workout selfie and you say, never miss a Monday. On Tuesday, you share a transformation. On Wednesday, you share a workout move that you can modify. On Thursday, it's Thirsty Thursday. Maybe on that day, you talk about your Shakeology. Fearless Friday, share something that a lot of people don't know about you. Let people get to know you better. And so that's just kind of a plan you can come up with for your posting for that week, and you sprinkle other stuff in there as well. But you also have to be posting about your challenge group. So you said you're a coach, you're showing people what you're doing, and now you've got to talk about your challenge group, okay? And so that is where your photos come in, and that is where you really still are just focusing on telling your story. All right. So your photos are really important. So if you haven't figured that out yet, if you haven't, we'll talk about this more in our training. But your photos need to be photos that are clear. I know as a new coach, my photos were dark. They were grainy. You couldn't really see a lot. So definitely invest in maybe a light. I've got this little light. There's a light called a Lumi light for your phone. I've got this thing right here, and there are other things that you can buy, but just get on Amazon if you need some lighting, but just make sure that your photos are kind of clear, all right? And lighting goes a long way in doing that. I also use some photo apps that I'm going to show you really quickly on my phone. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Can you guys see that? These are some of my favorite photos. So Snapseed, photo app, Snapseed is one I use every day. So you basically just take a photo and let's see, let me find one. Those are my kids. I'm just going to use my kids. And I can tune the image. I can make it brighter. I can make the contrast greater. I can do things like take away the shadows. I can put a blur around the kids, something like that. I use this app every single day, and it just kind of is a tool that I use to make my photos either clearer, or I can just, there's definitely a filter formula that I use that's kind of a brand for me. And so photo apps are fun. Another one that I use a lot if I'm going to put words on my photos is Word Swag. And so I don't put words on my photos a whole lot, but sometimes I do, if I want to share a specific message or a scripture verse or something that speaks to me. So I can do this. I can choose a photo and I can put some words on there. It's really simple to do. They have some already built in for you. And so it's a really good app to use. It's called Word Swag. Another one that I will use is Photofy. This lets me put more than one, lets me do collages and different things as well. So let's see, I think that's really, I use Canva a lot. I use it more on the computer. Like if I am going to, see, it already has these templates and some fun things for you to do, but you can do it on your phone. I just find it works better on the computer for me. But paying attention to the quality of your photos and what you are putting out there is what's really going to make people stop and read your posts in the first place, okay? And so that's why we really, really stress the importance of making sure that your photos are clear. So you want to be posting about your life, about your workouts and things like that, but you do need to, after you post your coach announcement, start talking about your challenge groups. Now you guys should be inviting to your uplines challenge group. So for my team, for example, we are doing Clean Week this month, and then after Thanksgiving, we have Thanksgiving here, we are doing our challenge group on November 27th. You guys don't have Thanksgiving, so your coach may be hosting a challenge group earlier than that, but just make sure that you know what date it starts and be inviting to that. Julia, I forgot, I'm supposed to be, you were going to talk some about posting too, right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, I was trying to mark off what you talked about so I don't go over it again, but I'm sure sometimes you have to hear it a couple times anyhow for it to sink in, so it'll be good either way. On the whole posting thing, I did write down a couple really what I feel are important tips for you. And number one, most important, no matter what, on your deathbed, kind of literally, is consistency. So if you are posting every morning between a certain hour, maybe give yourself an hour to an hour and a half window. Try to see how the traction is at that time. And if that traction doesn't seem to be as well as maybe an hour later, then try an hour later. And at the beginning, you guys are going to have to play with that a little bit and see when your market follows you. I had a big switch. For me, I am a night owl, so I have a lot of people that follow me late at night. However, when my kids started kindergarten, now I'm home alone at 7 a.m. and normally I would have no one to talk to. So I'm trying to gain interest during the morning. So you're going to have to adapt with the people that follow you. And like I said, with consistency is you want to make sure and have those posts every single day, no matter what, because people will start looking for you. And that's how that motivation starts. And that's where that trust starts to build. And that's where that, oh, think of yourself as a commercial. I'm not really sure what a really, I don't know, famous or well-known commercial is for you guys, but for us it's like the Super Bowl, and people pay millions and millions and millions of dollars for a 30-second clip in the middle of the Super Bowl halftime. And the reason for that is because it just implants in your brain. So someone may not be ready. I have people I've literally been reaching out to every other month for 3 years, guys. 3 years. Every single month or every other month, I have asked them and they're like, no, not right now. Can you imagine how many excuses they have given me over 3 years' time? And I've been known at the 2-year mark, at the 1-year mark, and it's worked, to say, hey, Susie, do you know a year ago today you told me next month? I said, I don't know what's stopping you, but before it ends up being 2 years from now, why don't we get you started? So sometimes you have to be a little bold, and don't hide behind what you're talking about. Be confident. Don't say, hey, why don't you try this out? I think you might like it. Be like, girl, you're going to rock this. I can't wait for you to crush your goals. Let's do this. You have to be really positive and uplifting. And I don't know if you guys want to take a second in the chat bar and let me know, how long did it take you to commit and say yes to your upline coach? I'm just curious if you guys can put that in the chat bar, because that may open your eyes a little bit. Because for you guys, I can imagine some of you, not all, some of you are rocking it, and that's great. But I want to address the people who maybe are struggling. And you're thinking, I've just sent out 200 invites. I've just spent, 10 hours over the past couple days inviting, and all I'm hearing is no and no and no and no. But look back, how long did it take you? How long was it till you earned that trust from your upline coach? What was it that finally made you say yes? I'm sure that a huge part of it was the consistency, because no matter what trauma or no matter what celebrations or no matter what you're going through in your life, every time you got on Facebook, that one person was speaking to you every single time. And it didn't matter if you were in a happy place or a sad place, you're like, man, when I do decide to do this, I am reaching out to her. And that's who you want to be. So if you think of it from that point, give yourself some grace, especially at the beginning, like Rachel said, which I almost said Melanie because I looked over at her real quick. Like she said, there will be some people who hop on right away. There's so many different personalities out there. Red personality, as me, has to research every possible in and out. Everything. I was researching this company from the top to the bottom. I spent 3 times as a sneak peek the whole way through a Coach Basics. Like, I was in there with actual coaches working, and I said, hey, if you put me in this, I just need to follow along. So you're going to run into those people. You're going to run into the people who aren't confident enough to do this either. And you're going to have to give them the belief that it's okay. If you're looking for people that are just like you, it's really easy to talk to them. So just keep sharing. Just keep sharing about yourself, and you will basically find what's called your avatar, and you want to work with people like you because it's so easy to talk to them. So that number 1 was consistency, and number 2 is being creative. Nobody wants to see you. I don't have it here, but if I had my shaker cup and it says Shakeology, and I'm like this drinking my Shakeology versus holding this right now, just drinking it and be like, gosh, people are wondering what I'm drinking in here. Most of you probably already know this is Energized. So, but other people won't. So if you're just drinking it and you're like, gosh, I'm so glad I have, something all natural to get me through the day, and leave it at that, people are going to be like, what? Why is she not telling me? But if you're like, oh, look at my Shakeology cup, they're going to Google Shakeology. They're going to find out the blah, 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 blah about Shakeology and not get the passion behind it that you guys are going to give it and what it's done for you. And I know you guys just got it, but you'll start to see it and you'll be able to share. Just the same with the workout. Someone can Google 21-day fix, and then they're like, oh, well, this is boring. Or, oh, I'll get it from Amazon. So you want to be that person to get the curiosity out there and make them reach out to you. And number 3, which she did touch base on, was the lighting. So even right now, as I'm doing this call, I have a light on me. It just makes it look better. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can use the window. I know Jamie went in the group today and talked a lot about lighting, so that was really good. Just use the window lighting. My very first light was also one like this. It cost me like $4 US, so it's really inexpensive investment. Save your receipt, write it off at the end of the year. Be real with your people and be raw with them. I did a post today. I don't know if I have it up. I can show you really quick. It got a lot of good traction for me. And it was literally like super simple. Let's see if I can pull it up. But I was raw with people. I was real with them, but I was funny. And there it is. So I told everybody, in your very first line of a post, where are all my judgy judgersons? And basically, I just was kind of making fun of people who judge others. Yes, I had all the candy. I had all the cupcakes. I had all the good stuff over the Halloween weekend. That's okay because I'm consistent and I keep showing up. So if you can do your very first line of your post, something funny, something creative, it will get them to click more so they keep reading it. Because if you don't, if you're just, even with that picture, they might just scroll past. But if I say, well, I did my workout today as my first sentence, people aren't going to want to click more. They're like, blah, blah, blah. That's great. You did a workout. But just try to find a catch line. Try to find something that's going to make them open it up and read it all. I actually got a few applications from this, which anything that's going to generate an application, of course, is what you want. And if you don't have an application set up for you, you can go to woofu.com and you can do 3 different forms, and they're free. So you can have applications for your coaching opportunities. You can have applications for your challenge groups or anything like that. So let's see. Before I go out of here, let's see if I can do this real quick. I wanted to let you guys know, as far as like the inviting part, because that's kind of what I want to talk to you next. is make sure every single day you are adding people. And that's really important for a lot of you, especially those of you who have a really small social media following right now. I only started out with like less than 300 people. So that's where that blinders comes into play. Some of us have 8, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 friends already. So of course, Mary Sue is going to get 25 coaches right off the bat because she has all these people and she's really active on social media. If you're not active yet, it's going to take time, kind of how Melanie has talked about all the time. But it's really easy to add friends. Like if for me, I'm a twin mom. So there's not a lot of twin moms in the US that are coaches on the dream team. I think there's like one other that I know of. So I can like scroll twin moms in the UK or twin moms in USA. Find what you like, be it a hobby, be it your job or something like that. And if I push, okay, I don't want to push the wrong thing here. And I did. I was like, just find, what you like and search for it. And then you can find groups, then add yourself in there. And when you go in there, you don't want to go in there and just blast away. You don't want to just go blast and say, hey, I'm a coach, come join me. You want to be in a group like a normal mom or a normal single person who likes volleyball and go in there and just comment and make friends and just earn trust from people and kind of move forward with that. That's what I need to stop sharing. So hopefully that helps you, because every single day you should be trying to friend request at least 10 people. You can do it from your phone so easily. Just look at the profile picture. You can tell a lot by seeing someone's profile picture. You don't want to friend request someone who like has all kinds of wild, crazy people party in the background doing shots. Maybe if it looks like a wedding celebration or something, positive like that, go ahead. But you want to be searching out someone who is looking for health and fitness if you can. If you're a mom, look for someone with a kid in their profile picture with them. That gives you something to talk about right away when you guys send a friend request and they accept. Oh man, I love your profile picture. Who did your pictures for you? For your kids, like I'm looking for a photographer. Just normal everyday talk. And I don't know, Rachel, did you talk about your profile picture being you? Okay. Your profile picture needs to be you, guys. It doesn't need to be you like this or you like this or you and your best friend. Now, if it's your husband or something, a lot of times that can fly because they're going to see Julia and then they're going to see my husband and they're going to know it's not him, it's me. But you want your profile picture to be bright. You want it to speak to people. You want to not change it out too often. It's good to have a profile picture for a long time. And then what tip I'll give you, if you ever get professional pictures, or if you just happen to snap like an awesome picture or something like that, you're like, man, I really like it. It's good lighting. It looks really nice. That's when you change it, because what that's going to do is generate interest from your friends too. And they're all going to like it. And it's just going to be like a little bit of buzz. And they're all going to be like, you look great. Love your haircut, things like that. But if you're changing it every other week, it's like boring. There she is again with another selfie. So you just want to kind of make sure that your profile picture is nice, clean, and you. And the same with your cover photo. You don't want it to just be you. Try to put something about your life in it. In my profile picture, my family is everything for me. But I have friends who are coaches that they don't have kids, but they still travel. So maybe they have a picture of them on an airplane, or maybe they have a picture of their dogs, and maybe they put a couple things to give people insight that it's not just a picture of you. People know when they go to my cover photo, I have kids. So they can see I have twins. They can see I'm married. They can tell I'm into fitness because I have a little something that talks about that. So it intrigues them, but it's not too much. You don't just want, I'm doing 21 day fix and a big picture like this, because that's a turn off too. We talked about the photos. Oh, now I'll go into making sure you invite. That goes back to consistency. Inviting publicly. And it doesn't have to be just join me, I'm doing this group. It can be little tiny jabs like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to check in with all my friends today in this group and someone lost 10 pounds and it's only 2 weeks in. That's it. That piqued someone's interest. What is she doing in this group and who lost 10 pounds? And if you want to make sure to invite privately, because when everything's slow and quiet during the holidays or things like that, it's those private messages. It's those how are you doing? It's the you know what? I have a group starting right after Christmas. Keep that in mind, and you're just kind of plugging the seeds, and I have a spot saved for you. Those kind of things make it real personable, and just keep it going, because on the outside, you can bite all day long, but if you're not doing the invites behind the scenes, it's not going to work, because people are really shy sometimes and they don't want to like your post and reach out to you. A lot of times it's you took that first step and you reached out to them, and then they feel comfortable enough to talk. Cost is a huge issue, and I know a lot of people get the cost issue. And I was telling Rachel that I not surprisingly, but I have a lot of people, by the time I get to cost, they say, oh, that's it, versus, oh, that's too much. And the reason is adding value and letting people know that they're worth it. Most people, moms, not moms, whatever, aren't going to invest in themselves this lump sum of money because they don't feel that they're worth it. They think they're going to quit. Whatever the reason is, they failed before. I did 3 workout programs and sent them all back before I ever decided to commit. And that was because finally someone asked me to join a challenge group. So we know how it can change our lives, but you have to let them know. So when you're talking to them in your conversations, don't make it all about you. It's not all about you. It's all about them. It's really hard to not go on and on and on about how much it's changed your life and how much you love this and how much weight you've lost and da 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 da. They probably already know that stuff because you're sharing it on social media. But behind the scenes, what you want to do is ask them, have you tried anything before? Has it worked? What did or didn't work? What is your fitness level like? How is your nutrition? Oh, well, have you tried clean eating before? What do you know about shopping at the grocery store? Do you like to cook? If you don't, I have simple recipes. All these little things is going to help when you get to the cost. Now, if you get someone right out the gate that says, yeah, I'm interested, what's the cost? Because that's what they do. My very first thing I say is, yes, there is going to be a one-time fee, because even though Shakeology is on a home direct order, it really is only a one-time fee because they can easily cancel it. They're not bound to do this for 2 months, for 3 months. They can literally cancel it the day after they order it if they want. So I always say, yes, there is a cost included. I want to let you know everything you're going to get first, but I really want to find out more about you because I want to know which program is going to get you the results that you're looking for. Now, me personally, 99% of the time, I'm starting out people with 21-day fix. So I already know what program I'm going to recommend to them, and I already know what program they're going to start. They don't know that, though. And you want to find out as much about them and let them know you care about them. And sometimes that takes a while. Sometimes you talk with people over months' time, and that can kind of sound daunting if you think about it, but not if it's just a quick message here and there, just checking in and just reassuring them through the months that you're still there. You didn't leave, and just because they said no today doesn't mean they're going to say no tomorrow. When they say no today, it just means no, not right now. And unless someone literally says, don't ever ask me again, I keep asking. I just had a lady sign on that I'd been inviting for 2 years. And when she messaged me and said, hey, I'm ready to do this, I messaged back, are you crazy? Are you sure? Because I've been trying to get you to do this for 2 years. She was like, yes, I'm ready. Most people would just say, oh, great. But I was like, no, you must be playing a trick on me or something. But she was ready. She signed up. So it's all about just giving them the value and making sure to let them know everything they're going to get after you find out all about them. You don't want to go, oh, well, you're going to get Shakeology, you're going to get this, you're going to get into my group, you're going to have me, you're going to have containers. You don't want to talk about any of that stuff until you find out as much about them as you can and really build them up so they understand. With inviting, I can probably share this in the group. You want to track, and I'm a pen and paper girl. So some of you may use Teamsy, some of you may use Streak. I'm not sure what all the ways are, but I have a simple little paper, and I'll show it to you kind of close up. I can put it in the group. But the first column is a yes, and I just wrote these real quick. The second column says a name. This says my first invite. So when I first invited them, this is a spot that says no, because many times they just say no. And then it's follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And what over here is a little snippet of the conversation I have with them. I have every single person that I've ever invited or talked with on a piece of paper like this in a folder. And that's thousands of people since I started. But for me to have this paper really helps. And all I do is, if I invited Jen Johnson on July 4th and she said no, I checked the no box. I invited her on 8/18. Then I went back and invited her on 9/20. Then I went back and invited her on Halloween. Now, I do this in pencil, so I can erase. And I wrote over here, check back after December 1st, because she must have said something in our convo that to me said, look, I need to give her a little bit more space. I'm maybe reaching out to her a little too soon, or she had, she had something, she has a big wedding coming up and she's just not ready to tackle that beforehand. So that's where I jot my notes. And in this conversation part, I erase it all the time and just put in little things. Now, the one that signs up and says yes, that's where I put their coach ID number and signed as a discount coach. Could be signed as a challenger, could be, signed as a full-time coach, whatever it happens to be. And I use this actually interchangeably for my personally sponsored coach. I have a separate tab where I just track them here. For my leads, so when you guys start getting leads, and that's later down the road, I use this for that too. So I'm going to stop talking now. And hopefully I went over enough stuff. I'm trying to make sure my notes. Don't be salesy, yada, 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 all that stuff.
Hey, somebody asked, did you draw that out or did you print it off?
I drew it. That's why it's not all fancy. I took a ruler and a marker, and I will post it for you, and you can copy them out and print them out. It's just super, super simple, basic. It kind of shows my age when I do stuff like that, but I'm okay with that. But for those of you who need a start, or at least have it written down somewhere, at least you have a place to do that. I also write down every time you add new friends, you can go under your friends and there is a tab that says recently added. And I'm sure you've went over that at some point in time. And if you haven't, look for it under there. It'll say mutual friends and it'll say recently added. I check through there every couple days and add in all the new people on a running list, just plain old paper. I probably have like 700 or 800 names, of people I've never reached out to yet, but I know they're new friends, because I don't send a message to most people the second they accept my friend request. I just honestly just don't have time. So, but I do jot their name down, so I have it. But I just want to say one more thing before we open up to questions and all that stuff, is treat this like a job. There's two things when you start a new job. Number one is you have no clue what's going on. You have one person telling you to do one thing, and then you have the other manager or the other boss telling you to do something else, because they all have their own little way to do things. In this business, you get to choose the way that you think is going to be best for you. Try something out, give it a good effort. Don't give it a 3-day effort and go, oh, this didn't work. Stick to something for at least a few weeks to a month. And then if you're like, this is not my style, maybe I want to try out what Rachel said and try her way, because everyone's going to have a totally different way, a totally different market. Obviously, we're not all the same. You just have to find which one's going to work for you. But the other thing with a job is, think of how overwhelmed you are when you start. You have all this stuff you have to learn. You have if you're doing computers, you have the computer system, you have to get new clothes to wear. You have to invest in new shoes, because maybe you need non-slip shoes if you're working in a restaurant. There are always things you have to spend money on. So just because you started this business, don't think, spending $10 or $15 here or there isn't going to go a long way. You're investing in yourself when you're doing it here. If you're working somewhere else, you're investing in that boss. So this business, a lot of people, I'll be honest, don't make it because they treat it as a $40, 40-pound or a free job that they just started. Because really, if you were to open up a business like a restaurant, that would cost how much money? I mean, how many of you could actually do that without really having to take out huge loans or mortgages on your house or co-signing with people? So a lot of people start this business and they just go, well, I don't have a lot invested. It kind of goes back to the people who don't want to invest in the challenge pack. If they don't have the money invested in it, they tend to just fluff it off and really don't move forward with it. So just remember that. If you treat it like a business, it's going to be a business for you. And yes, I'll post the list. It will. I saw that. So we're going to go through, Rachel, we want to go through and we'll start going through the chat, and then we can open it up for questions if you guys want to unmute yourself. You're muted.
Okay, it looks like you guys shared how long it took you to join, and then I think I answered the question about the lights. We talked about the lights and the tripod. Somebody asked about Shakeology and menopause symptoms. I obviously have not been through menopause yet, but I do. Hormones are a big part of my story. Like, I struggled for a really long time with like really bad PMS, PMDD. And Shakeology helps tremendously. But I do have some coaches who are going through menopause, and Shakeology has just done amazing things for them as well, like reduce their night sweats and all kinds of things like that. I shared links to their profile page. They would be happy to share their story with you. Somebody asked, do you add all the people you see in the recommended friends section? I personally add like 3 to 5 people a day. I've done that ever since I was a coach. I do that, and I don't write their name down until they accept. If they don't ever accept my friend request, then I'm not going to write their name down. But so I'll share a little bit about how I do that. My kids are home. I'm just warning you, they're walking through the door. Okay. Hey, guys, I'm on a call. Yeah, just for a little bit. Okay, so my process, like Julia said, I don't send a lot of cold invites, but you guys are at the beginning of your journey, and you have a warm market, what we call a warm market, okay? So those are people that you know that probably trust you. Milo, I'm working. Henry knows. That probably trust you, and you really just need 3 people your first month, okay? 3 people to enroll in a challenge group with a challenge pack or with Shakeology on Home Direct. That's where your points come from. For every challenge pack you sell, or for every Shakeology on Home Direct order you sell, you get 2 Success Club points. So you need 3 people, all right, to hit Success Club. So in the beginning, I would reach out to people who I knew, who I trusted, and just said, hey, I'm starting this journey, found something that works for me, and I'm coaching. And, you know, like, I love Shakeology. I love the workout programs. Would you be willing to learn more about doing this with me? That's where I started, okay? Secondly, if you've posted that coach announcement, if you're posting your workout selfies, you're probably getting people who like your posts, right? Or commenting even. Like, reach out to those people. Send them a message. This is what I do, is send a message and say, hey, hey girl, thanks so much for the love on my post. You supporting me means so much to me. I'm just really excited about what I'm doing and the results that I'm getting. Do you have any health and fitness goals for yourself? Would you be interested in learning more about doing this with me? Okay, so that's a sample invite that I would send. But as far as just like my daily behaviors, I'm always adding people. I write their name down. A week or 2 later, I'll go back and I'll start to like and comment on their post to start to build that relationship. And then another week later, I might send a private message, totally unrelated to Beachbody. Like, I'm all about the relationship building. Melanie jokes and says we're like professional friend makers, but that's true. Like, I view that as my job, is to make friends, build relationships. And as you're doing this, people will be watching what you're doing. If you add somebody as a friend and they accept you, the first thing they're going to do is go to your page. So if you're not posting, then, you know, you're not really doing that full circle job. Okay. And so I'm always building those relationships. And so whenever, like a month after I add somebody as a friend, if I've done that, I feel confident in going to that person and saying, hey, you know, I know we've been talking about this, but I was planning my next accountability group and your name came to mind. And I just wanted to reach out to you and ask, do you have any health and fitness goals? I would love to have you in my next fitness challenge group. Okay. And typically people have health and fitness goals. You know, that's the thing. Like, people may be watching you. They may not be liking or commenting, but if you're posting and if you're having your own transformations, if you're being proof that the products work, then people are watching you and they want you to ask them. They want you to invite them. You may get pushback about the price. You may get pushback about what it is, but so long as you're educating people, and I like to teach my coaches, your post should do three things. They should inspire, they should educate, or they should just entertain. Honestly, a little bit of entertainment in there goes a long way in keeping people following you. Okay, so your posts are kind of like the insurance, the backup for those private invites that you are doing. And I know that personally for me, inviting was it was terribly intimidating. Like, I didn't want people to think that I was calling them fat. I didn't want people to think that I was just had opinions about them. But people want to be asked. So if we're posting about all this stuff, but we're not inviting them, we're just kind of teasing people, right? Like, we're talking about this great thing, but we're not inviting anybody to do it with us. And so that is kind of the process that I have for invites. So we've kind of briefly talked about, and we dig so much deeper into this in the training groups. So we'll give you lots of examples, invite examples, follow-up examples, things like that. But right now we want to hear your questions. Like, what questions do you have about any of this, about posting, about challenge groups, about inviting, all that good stuff? Just unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hey.
I've been getting a few likes on the posts about challenge groups on Instagram. I've been trying to contact the people who liked about, I'm doing this new challenge group. And I'm not really getting any response, even though they had originally liked that post. So
yeah, what are you saying to them? What are you saying to them?
Well, the first thing is always, well, thanks. I noticed that you liked my post. Thanks for the support. It means a lot. I'm running this new challenge group called November to Remember, which runs through, as you can imagine, November. And then I say it's a great way to see what Beachbody is all about and test out its products.
Yeah.
Then I say about how I'll be giving fitness tips, and we do this every month. And would you be interested in more information?
So I would have stopped with, hey, thanks for liking my posts. I would say something, a lot of times I'll just send a message and say, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. Your support means so much to me. And I might even stop right there. So,
okay.
You probably have given too much information up front. And so you want to just think of it as starting a relationship. Like, if you walked up to somebody on the street, you wouldn't say, hey, it's so good to see you. Do you want to join this group with me? I view it as, even though we're in social media land, like, I take it step by step. And so you want to, when you're talking to people like that, even if you're just connecting and saying, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. I really appreciate your support. And I do, like, I would personally say something like, are you currently working towards fitness goals for yourself as well? And end it there. Always ask a question. Always end with a question, because they will need to respond to it, right? And then if she says yes, like, I'm working at a gym, or maybe even no, like, I'm not, but I really need to do something, get started, then you can go back and say, oh, I totally am. I always like the feel, felt, found. We teach you guys that. Like, oh, I understand how you feel. Like, I have struggled with this for so long, but what I found is that I can actually work out at home. I can follow, eat real food and get results, and then end with another question. What have you done that works in the past, and just keep that conversation going. And eventually you're going to get to, well, I think you would love what I'm doing. It is, you can work out from home. You have all the resources at your fingertips. We have this community of support and accountability and just encouragement that keeps you going. And if this is something that you would like to do, I can share more information with you about how it works.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. It is. It's a slow build. I mean, like, that's what, if you can get that into your head, it's a slow build. You have to have trust, with what we do. People have to trust you. And think about all the messages that you get every single day from somebody trying to sell you something. And we try to stay as far away from that approach as possible. Julia said she likes to ask a question, but usually a more personal question about them. Yeah, that's good too. Anybody else? That was a very good question. I think that probably a lot of people are doing that. I know I did it. I word vomited all over people as a new coach, like it was ugly. Okay, anybody else? No? Are y'all posting? Okay, let's see. Go ahead, Rachel Flood.
Oh, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I've had kind of a few kind of conversations with people who are kind of potentially interested, but they're kind of like umming and erring on the price. And so we've kind of, working with my upline, and we've talked about like the value. But I'm just, with a few of them, I'm wondering whether it's worth trying to get them in on maybe like the clean week or a taster, or holding off to see if they're going to do the full challenge pack in January. Because part of me thinks, well, take it slow, you don't want to pressure them, maybe then they'll have a full challenge pack. Or is it worth getting them in on something that you might not get points for, but then at least they're in a challenge group?
Do you want to take
Have you got any advice around that?
I would honestly say that kind of is going to be where you figure out what your niche is, meaning try it out. Everybody that's starting here is new. Me personally, I love the idea of clean week. I think it's a great way to get people started, but for me personally, I have yet to even launch a clean week. I don't know if I will, or if that will be something that I do more privately in conversation. And everybody has their own way of going about things. I don't run a lot of free groups. That's just me personally. For you guys, that may work well, because maybe a lot of your people aren't used to being in group settings. So that's something, that can really help them kind of visualize what maybe a challenge group is going to be. But for me and my market of people, I know if I were to offer a free group every month, those people are going to go, I'm not signing up today. I'm just going to wait for her free group next month. Now, everybody has their own way of going about that and their own system. I know free groups. I know people who run them very diligently, and they run them every single month, and they have great success with them. But it's kind of, for me, an all or nothing thing. I run maybe 2 free groups a year, and I really hype them up, and people are really excited for them. And then they know I better join her, or I have to wait 6 to 7 months to get in that next free group. But with that being said, trying out free groups could be something that just gets your market comfortable, especially since your people, maybe you guys have a lot more cold invite people because you don't have a big following on Facebook. I actually cold invite a lot. One of the very few coaches who does, but that could warm people up to the idea. It's not going to hurt anything. I would just advise maybe not rushing to it right off the bat.
Okay.
Not how I'm going about it. Like I had some people today. No, I'm not ready. I still don't have the money. Okay, I just let them go. But I'm not hurting for Success Club. I'm not hurting for a challenge group to fill up. I kind of have like a following, and I'm positive that I will have people that I can inspire enough to get ready and start. So I would think, it may be, if you really know they're hurting for money, or if you just think it's kind of like an excuse, because you're going to run into those people. Like I had the lady told me today she didn't have money. However, I checked her Facebook page, and she's asking for where she could buy this certain dog for her family, and who sells Scentsy that she can buy it for. So she obviously can afford a challenge pack. I'm not going to offer her the cheaper version of a clean week right now. I'm just going to kind of roll with it. So.
And another thing, the kind of few people who've kind of made noises about potentially wanting to do coaching. So it's the same thing, really. We kind of were thinking, well, maybe we should offer them clean week, or my upline said maybe just the coaching fee, and then they can get their discount, and get them in the challenge group just to kind of give them a taster. So again, is that the kind of all or nothing thing again? Is that the same advice, or is it a good way to kind of coax them in gently?
The sneak peeks are good, and we'll be doing a sneak peek next week. I think Melanie put in the group. That's almost like a free group without them having to try, anything. But if they're really interested about coaching, my big thing is, or even a challenge group, I really push the issue after I've already found out all about them. All about them. I don't talk about everything that comes in that challenge pack or anything to avoid it. I really let them know, guys, give this a shot. You know, you can send it all back, bottom of the bag, Shakeology and everything, you know, up to 30 days. I'm telling you, this changed my life in 3 weeks' time. You know, isn't it worth a try to, you know, do this for 3 weeks? So if someone's really interested in coaching, I think that they would be, you know, pretty easy to sway into, well, obviously you have to get this to try it out yourself.
Yeah, yeah. All right, thanks so much. Thank you.
So Rachel, I'm sorry, I am Rachel. Samantha asked about how I use Clean Week. Okay, so I agree a lot with what Julia says. Like, I don't love a free group. I find the people that do free groups are just people who want something free, and they don't typically convert over to a challenge pack. But now people like Katie Ersta, she runs a free group every month. That's how she finds people, and she does well with it. So for Clean Week, the way that I use that, Samantha, is that since we have Thanksgiving and I'm not running my challenge group until the end of the month. So for me, Clean Week and free groups are, although Clean Week is not free, it's kind of a way for me to add value and help people that might not otherwise join my challenge group, because I'm all about the helping people, right? I mean, that's what we're doing. And so, like, if I can help somebody even realize, you know, that they can eat clean for a week, they can work out for a week, you know, and inspire them that way, I can. Now, last month I did Clean Week and I got a few challengers out of it. But Clean Week is different too, because guys, honestly, and you guys are going to ask this question a lot, can we let people in our challenge groups without buying anything, or without buying Shakeology, or without whatever? Those people that are not willing to commit to Shakeology are most likely 99% of the time not going to commit long-term to anything. They're going to be the people that join your challenge group and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to show up. They're not going to post. They're not going to make a meal plan. They're not going to work out. There's something about making that investment in Shakeology that makes people stick with it. And obviously, like, I believe Shakeology works. I believe, like Julia said, like, it's changed my life. You know, I was on it a month, 2 months, and I noticed a huge difference. I noticed a huge difference in my hormones. My cholesterol was like cut in half. I mean, it's amazing. I believe in it. And I think so long as we can relay that passion, and you guys may not have that yet. You guys just got Shakeology, just like we started out, just like you guys did. We started out with no experience with our own, personal, like, we had to start from ground zero, just like you guys did. But you have the testimonies of all of us US people that you can use if you need to for transformations and things like that. So the way that I'm using Clean Week is mostly just a way to help people to start some new conversations, to get some new connections. And then I will, in fact, invite all of those people to my November 27th challenge group after that is over. But again, I found last month with Clean Week that, yes, you know, I did get a couple of challengers, but it was still kind of the same thing. The people that did it were just in it. They weren't willing to pay more than $30 to do anything else. So, but it is. I like Clean Week. I think it's a very good program. And for you guys especially, who with a ton of people that don't know anything about Shakeology or anything like that, it's a really good way to get people some information and get the product in their hands, so that they can try it. Because I think after 7 days on Shakeology, if they drink it, they're going to see a difference. They're going to have more energy. They're going to have fewer sweet cravings. They may be sleeping better. Their hormones may be better. Their next period may be better. I know that when I go a week without it, my next period is really horrible. So, those are just some things that it may give them that experience. I think you guys should definitely use Clean Week. Anybody else? Yeah. And like Julia said, I've been going back just today and talking to those people who told me no a long time ago and saying, hey, I know we talked about this before. It wasn't the right time. You wanted to try Shakeology. This is a great way to do it. And I'll say too, this is my approach, and this is what I teach my team. When people tell me no, I don't just move on. I don't just close the door. I always offer them something. And like Julia said, I can tell like who really can't afford it, who can. And I do let some people, Melanie let me into her challenge group without Shakeology now. I will say that. And so look, I turned out to be a coach, but I don't really advise doing that. But when people tell me no, I always try to leave that door open. So what I do is I always offer them something. I always tell them, well, you do need Shakeology to get in the challenge group, but the next time I run a free group, I'll follow up with you. Or if you want me to follow up with you next month or after Christmas, let me know. And I write their name down. And then I always tell them, I know you're not ready to join the long term, but here's a sample meal plan. Take it, try it, follow it for a week, and see how you feel. Like, I always like to give them something so that they trust me and they know I was not just in it for a sale. Okay. So nobody has any more questions?
Sorry, one last one.
Yeah.
I tend to look up a lot of recipes because I come from France, and so I tend to look up a lot of French recipes because I feel that they work a little bit better than the American or the English ones with, in that case, my body or the way it's going. They're not 21 Fixate approved. They're Weight Watchers recipes and home recipes and things that the way I've always cooked, basically.
Yeah.
How does that fit into the whole preparing meal plans and make sure that they're 21-day approved and all that stuff?
So can you not tweak it to change it to make it 21 Day Fix approved?
What makes it 21 days Fix approved?
Okay, just have you gotten your book and with that tells you what goes in the containers and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, like if you had a French dish that had probably not a lot of pasta, that would be Italy, but like a lot of cheese or
cream, fresh
cheese and meat and stuff like that, you can still have that stuff. You just portion it out,
Okay.
You just don't eat a whole plate full of cheese, you just eat a little bit of cheese. And then like if there's like a lot of carbs, there are a lot of ways you can swap out, like take the carbs out and put more veggies in. Obviously we still eat carbs. There's nothing wrong with carbs. It's just eating the right ones, So like if it's a pasta dish, sometimes I will use cauliflower rice or spaghetti squash instead of noodles. Or in place of bread, I might like put a sweet potato in there or something like that. So you just swap it out and use the foods from your container list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
that's something you can post about. Like, oh, I took my favorite dish and I changed it to match my lifestyle, my healthier lifestyle that I am trying to, change how I eat and fuel my body the right way. I love French food.
Thanks.
You can come cook for me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. For Clean Week, do they also have access to BOD? Yeah, with Clean Week, they get access to the Clean Week workouts and the meal plan if they purchase the 7-day sampler. Now, they can sign up for a free membership and just get access to the Clean Week workouts, all right? But they don't get access to the meal plan and everything. But if they purchase that 30-pound Shakeology Clean Week sampler, they get access to the Beachbody On Demand, the Clean Week workouts, the meal plan, and the everything else, the Shakeology and stuff. Turn it off, Henry, bud. Let's see.
How do I turn it off?
Just hit end or something.
No way.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have more questions? They're good questions. All right, so we will be back next week. I'm not sure about your whole time change thing, but it'll be 9:00 p.m. next week for you guys. And so we'll have more. But please, 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 major things, stay plugged into your Vimify training. Like read every single day, participate. We're going to share sample invites. Get that coach announcement done if you have not done it, and start posting and just stay plugged into that training and these calls. This is where it's at, okay? All right, guys. Thank you.
One last question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. No, you're fine.
I've seen, because I've heard it said, and I see it in the Vimify, this thing about personal development.
Yes.
I tried watching a few videos, and a lot of it was, be sure about yourself, be strong. Like, what exactly do we get out of?
Do you have this book?
No, I keep hearing about it, but I don't have it yet.
Book. You can get it on audio. Like I listen on Audible. Baby, I'm working. Just a minute.
Can I get some
or you can get it in a book. Like I actually listen to it as a new coach because I drive back and forth to my job. This book is all about just the importance of if you read it and you're doing this training, you're going to get it. It's all about the importance of doing those simple, small behaviors every day that really seem like they don't matter. Things like adding friends every single day, or things like connecting every day, or things like, doing your workout every day. Like at first, it doesn't really seem like it's doing anything, but if you do it over time consistently, it's going to compound, and you're slowly building this momentum. And for me, it just personally, like, go turn that off, please. On those days that it felt like, oh, I don't want to send a complete stranger a message today, or I don't want to add some friends, or I don't want to push play, or whatever, like that, I did it anyways because I trusted that I was building momentum. All right. And by golly, I have. Okay. So like I have been a coach for 3 years, and I just do the basics every single day. I add friends, I connect, I invite, I post my workout selfie, and I run a challenge group every single month, and my business has slowly, I'm not like a big booming business right away, but my business has grown consistently to where today, like, I make more money as a coach than I do as a teacher. And so, yeah, lean into that personal development, even on those days where it seems hard, and just trust that you're doing things that are building momentum and going to move your business forward. So like, I would definitely start there with that book.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.